What's going on, guys? It's Gendo here, and welcome to episode 27 of For the Love of the Game. And today we will be starting the 2020-21 season off with Live Comms versus Cowdenbeath and Turf United. Now, those are two names that you probably didn't think I would be saying at the start of this season, but boy howdy do we have stuff to talk about outside of that. That's just one part of it. Now, Cowdenbeath got themselves relegated due to Queen of the South beating them in the promotion/relegation playoff final. So Queen of the South are currently sitting in the championship for this year, and Cowdenbeath, by process of elimination, is down in League One. Turf United, in their fourth year in the Scottish Football League, see themselves in League One due to not only beating Brechin 3-2 on aggregate, they beat Arbroath 2-0 just to see themselves into League One. So for them to not only just get themselves into the Football League, but to start then pushing upwards is rather amazing for a team that is more than likely a small team. They only have a stadium capacity of about 1,000. So just to see them coming up like this, it's rather amazing how much they can do in a short amount of time. But I digress. Cowdenbeath, pardon my pun, I have beef with, because they decided that it would be in their best interest to steal not just my starting goalkeeper, but my backup goalkeeper. Sean Duncan, they swept up for right at the end of the season, and I was none too happy about that. I was like, okay, I'll just deal with Dan Hoban and whatever backup goalkeeper I have down in the youth side. Apparently, Sean Duncan then gets himself injured, and they're like, oh, hey, Queen's Park has some goalkeepers that aren't attached. Let's go grab them. And they decided to pick up Daniel Hoban as well, leaving me left with, I believe, 3 or 4 youth side goalkeepers. So I had to promote 2 of them, as there aren't a lot of goalkeepers out on the market to begin with. This is something where I have to either scout other nations or just promote from within. Fortunately, I did have 2 that were passable that I was able to promote and will be using for the season. I'll give you the lowdown on them when I do my starting 11. On top of that, Andy Jackson and Andy Forsyth were both pretty miffed in terms of players that I was bringing in. So, and especially with Andy Jackson. Andy Jackson is 32, almost 33 years old. Doesn't have a lot of speed with him. His only thing going for him was his finishing, and even then, that dropped down to a 10. So it wasn't in my best interest to keep him on, so I just let him go. Andy Forsyth, on the other hand, he's a 20-year-old midfielder that's been causing a lot of trouble on the back end because he wants to break into the first team side. And I didn't really see him doing that, basically because of his speed and his lack of attacking ability. His passing is rather dismal if I want to be using him as more of a setup man in the midfield. And with a 5 there, that's not the ideal stat I want to see for a midfielder. So I had to get rid of him, and in the end it wasn't all that bad. There are actually a good number of midfielders coming in the youth side that just came in this past youth recruitment day. And then finally, Queen of the South decided, hey, since Queen's Park has a lot of these amateur players, we need a defender. So let's snap up arguably the best, if not second best, defender on my side in Gary Mulholland. And Gary Mulholland is now sitting with Queen of the South up in the Scottish Championship. And he's been doing fairly well for him. In one match, he actually got a 7.4 rating. So, yeah, I guess he's always been destined for bigger and better things. But that also led to almost a near mutiny on my defensive line, saying, why could you let Mulholland go? Well, number 1, settle down. Number 2, this is an amateur side. We don't have any contracts. And unfortunately, I can't. I wish there was a way I can articulate that to AI players instead of just giving 1 of 5 choices. But whatever. That's part of the challenge of managing Queen's Park, the all-amateur side, is that I need to deal with this when this comes up. So let's take a look at who we're bringing in. I'll already point out to you, Kevin Kelly Dale Davison and Alan Suter are no longer with the club due to them performing really poorly and or getting injured. So everybody that is left, let's take a look at the rundown. First we have Callum Horvath, who is a 25-year-old right back who I'm mostly going to be using as a right wing back due to the formation I'm continuing to use. And I believe this is due to my training that I have set up. That's why you see all these arrows pointed downwards. But taking a look at some of the stats, he has 12 on pace, 12 agility, 12 acceleration, which is always good. Pacey wingers and pacey wingbacks are always a favorite of mine. He has decent mentals, and as far as his defending stats go, a 12 in tackling and a 9 on marking. Not that bad. His technique could definitely use a little work. But other than that, definitely going to be my starting right winger. Or right wing back, excuse me. Then we have Kenny Kane. Kenny Kane, he's in my ear and in my eye. Oh boy, that's going to catch on. 18 years old, also a Scotsman. He's really small at 5'5", but I'm not expecting him to be jumping all that much, especially if I'm going to be using him as a center mid. I do like seeing all those green arrows. It just means he's developing very well. His pace and acceleration could use a little work. Not quite double digits yet, but hopefully with a little bit of training, he can turn into a fast player, a relatively fast player. Mentals, decent mentals on that side, but his technicals really, really good. 14 dribbling, 11 first touch, 10 on finishing, but I'm also looking at his passing. His passing could use a little work as there's a 7 there. So not a bad midfielder for an 18-year-old. If I'm not starting him this season, he's definitely going to be coming off the bench because he is a prospect for the future. Callum Wallace, I'm loaning in from my parent club Dunfermline. He's a 19-year-old center mid who, much like Kenny Kane, is very attacking minded. He's about the same speed as him, 10 pace, 10 agility, 8 acceleration. Less mentals, weaker mentals I should say, but his attacking stats more on par with Kenny Kane. So at the end I may send Wallace back if he's not performing up to snuff. Though in the I guess one of the matches that I played, he did hit a 6-7, so very decent, promising start. But time will tell if I will actually keep him on for the full season. And this is a name you should probably remember from last season. Good old Stephen Davidson. Stephen Davidson, of course, from St. Johnstone. I loaned him in. You remember him. 12 goals in 16 appearances last season. He was a wonderful guy up until he broke his foot and I had to send him back to St. Johnstone. But St. Johnstone released him and apparently nobody wanted to pick him up. So this was a godsend, especially after I got rid of Andy Jackson, to see Stephen Davidson out there on the market, ready to be picked up. I'm glad to have gotten him back, and I hope that he continues his goal-scoring ways for this season, especially since I definitely need it up front. And then finally, because of the loss of Gary Mulholland, I've been scrambling for a center back, and with Andy McLean actually going out injured for 5 weeks because of broken ribs, it was imperative I picked up a center back. So take a look at Harry Patterson, 19-year-old Scotsman who was honestly not my first choice. My first choice, unfortunately, was picked up by Albion Rovers, and if I ever face them, I'll definitely show you and point them out. But taking a look at his stats, fairly average. Unfortunately, he's not going to be a starting center back, but for the time being, he will be because I'm short-staffed on that end. 8 pace, 10 agility, 7 acceleration. His defensive stats, 8 in marking, 12 in tackling. Overall, very, very run-of-the-mill, very generic center back that could play at a League One level. I hope he doesn't saddle me with bad performances, because if he does, then I'm going to be losing a lot of matches this season, because defensively has always been our weak point. So hopefully he doesn't do too badly for us. Alright, after that, let's take a look at I don't really want to go into these 2 cup matches, as yes, we didn't get out of the Challenge Cup first round this year. Sad for us. Well, it's because we drew Queen of the South and they demolished us 3-1 in terms of shots and shots on target. They doubled us up in shots on target, and it's all because of Alistair Roy. Alistair Roy is a great player. He's very fast. He's quite decent up front with a 12 dribbling, 11 finishing. I'd love to have him on, but unfortunately, he likes money, and my club doesn't like money, so I can't bring him on. I can't even loan him in. Sad for me, but whatever. You deal with it. And then a 2-1 loss to Albion Rovers in the League Cup. The League Cup we've always lost the first round to. There was something with the Cup, even if we drew against teams that we had felt it was a good matchup for us, we'd always lose in League Cup. Don't know why. I guess we can pinpoint the fault in us for Dan McNulty, as he had the lowest rating out of everybody on the defensive side. And that, I guess, prompted me to actually bring on to try and bring on another center back to divvy up the workload, make sure that you can have, I don't know, if I can just get a 6'4", 6'5" out of them, I'll be fine. Doing your job, being average, and hopefully stop some goals from getting through. All right, so let's get on with the matches for today. Cowdenbeath first. We would be away from home at Cowdenbeath. And we'll take a look at how they're lined up. They're going to be coming predominantly through the center. 4-1-2-1-2, a 4-4-2 narrow diamond, as some people might say it. We're going to be seated in front of 559 people at Cowdenbeath. Of course, we are going to be sticking with the 5-2-3 that has worked wonders over the past season and a half. And you take a look at the starting lineup. Take a gander at Scott Buchan. He is a 16-year-old. I believe he is the youngest player that I've started in my squad for this season. He's a 16-year-old goalkeeper, 5'11", not all that tall. I do like seeing all those green arrows, though. It means he's developing very nicely. His shot-stopping ability, which looks really good. His one-on-ones almost in the double digits. His reflex is great with a 13. Good jumping reach with a 14, though. The only thing that's discouraging me is his pace. He's got a 4 there and a 6 in acceleration, which is fine because he doesn't rush out very much. He's got a 2 there. So he's staying back home, which means that he needs to rely on his center backs. And hopefully my center backs can actually perform and give this guy some room to work. Outside of that, taking a look at everyone else, you have the back three of Gibson, McNulty, and Patterson. Alexander and Hovath will be out there on the wings. Simpson and Rennie will be the 2 center mids, and up front we will have Ryan Waters, John Black, and Andy McKinnon. I'm going to give Davidson a little bit of a rest coming back in, just because he needs time to get acclimated back with the club. He didn't do all that well during the Cups, so I feel that I'll bring him back during the Turf United match, because that seems like a lot easier challenge than Cowdenbeath. So let's kick off. Hopefully we could start off on a good note, but it is Cowdenbeath, and it is almost an entirely new squad. So you can only hope and see what happens. Team talks are over, and let's open the curtain on this new Scottish Football League One season. And hopefully get off on the right foot, as Cowdenbeath have been in the Scottish Championship, the Scottish Second Division, for the entirety of this save. So I would expect them to have championship quality players. They're more than likely going to go back up at the end of the season, but at least we can give them a fight. At least try to give them a fight off the crossbar. At least try and give them a fight in this match. 11 minutes gone. We actually have an attacking chance. Gibson through, but down in the box, and nothing comes to that. Cowdenbeath coming on the counter. Maybe if we can hit them with a little bit of defensive tactics. I guess I should probably tell them to tighten up, since they are playing predominantly through the middle, through ball, and he tried to chip it over the goalkeeper for some unknown reason. And do that. He tried to chip it over the goalkeeper for some weird reason. This is going to be a goal. Yep. Free kicks, 20 yards out, automatic goal for the opponent. And that's a Cowdenbeath lead, 1-0 after just 18 minutes. We stayed relatively even with them. 4 shots to 3, and now it's 5-4 in favor of Cowdenbeath. We aren't doing all that bad. It's just we're gifting the ball to them. Defensively, we need to tighten up. We need to mark our men a little better. Good save by Buchan there. 27 minutes gone. They do get a corner. Rennie with a nice kick out. It gets all the way up to Waters, but Cowdenbeath cutting out that attack. 32 minutes gone. Throw in deep in our area. Maybe we can get it out towards the center. Bad pass by Simpson. We gift it right back to Cowdenbeath. Trying to think. Maybe we need to switch up our tactic a little better. Good save by Buchan. The 16-year-old putting in work in front of net. Though the people in front of him not doing all that much better. We're coming up near halftime. Already 2 out of 3 center backs are on yellows. Show me something different out there, guys. Defensively, I'm not happy with you. Midfield, you can do a lot better. And guys up front, man, I'm not happy with your finishing. You're getting chances. They have, what, 5 shots? 4 shots, 1 of them on target. That needs to change. Maybe a little bit of encouragement, telling him to push forward would help there. Already within the first minute, long ball over the top. Waters, Black, one of you guys can get that. McKinnon maybe. But Rennie needs to find a better pass. As the ball goes right back to Cowdenbeath. It's just pinballing around the center. Simpson, once again, needs to find a better pass. Great tackle by Rennie. We keep the ball. We don't keep the ball. Just a lot of messing about in the center. Great passing, but just a horrible shot from Cowdenbeath. They could have made it 2-0 right there. We were very fortunate they can't find the net on that time. Once again, we get the ball deep in their area, but we just keep making bad passes. And there, they finally double us up now. The long cross in. It's 2-0 to Cowdenbeath. And we're just fading away without a whimper. Here we go. Once again, we have a corner, or not a corner, but a throw in deep in their area. Was McKinnon onside? It looked suspiciously off, but they'll give it to us. It's 2-1 now. Andy McKinnon getting a goal back in the 55th minute. And once again, I'll tell these guys to push forward, or not just push forward, demand more. Yes, we got a goal, but we need another goal. We need to get a point out of this. And with that in mind, I'm going to sub off Harry Patterson. He didn't do well in his debut. Ross McCrory is going to come in for him. And, not looking too solid in, defensively for the other options. I can either put in Daugherty. I'll actually put in Daugherty for Christian Gibson back there. Even though he doesn't particularly play center back. Ooh, good save by Buchan. 2 center backs have been subbed off. Now McCrory and Daugherty are on. Just look to make something happen. Long ball forward. Nothing came of that? Seriously? It was a long ball all the way up. And with 18 minutes left to go, I'll make one final sub. Jack Downey is going to be coming on for Connor Rennie. Actually, it's a case of fitness or poor form, because Paul Simpson definitely poor form all day. So Jack Downey is going to come in for Paul Simpson, and that's going to be the final sub. With just 18 minutes and stoppage time left to go, let's try and salvage something out of this. 15 minutes left. We lose possession. They force us all the way back into our area. McNulty, just punt it forward. Get it up to the 3 strikers and let the 3 strikers do all the work. Oh, hey, look, it's Daniel Hoban, the goalkeeper that I didn't keep because he was absolute shite. McKinnon, off his line. And that's why Hoban was shite and I didn't play him. McKinnon from 40 yards out, we draw level to him from a world goal. And now, but can Cowdenbeath capitalize? 2 minutes later, will they strike lucky? No, good save by Buchan there. Another ball in, and it just goes wide of the post. Cowdenbeath doing everything they can now to try and steal, well, actually not steal, but get back on all 3 points that we stole from them. It's getting very nervy. Defense cannot afford a bad tackle. Okay, I'm going to go back to, or go counter and then tell everyone to tighten up. With 10 minutes left, I'd like to hold on to this draw. Getting a point out of this would be absolutely remarkable. 7 minutes left to go. We have a throw in deep in their area. McKinnon to Daugherty. Back to McKinnon. He has options in the center. And that's a foul? A foul in the box. It's yellow carded. And we have a penalty. Oh, and the guy was arguing with the ref and he gets shown a yellow. Who's stepping up to take it? Ross Daugherty, of all people. He is not my first choice penalty kick taker, but hopefully on today, he can put us in the lead. He can help us steal all 3 points away from Cowdenbeath, who are now down to 10 men. Daugherty, oh, he gets it under the goalkeeper, and we take the lead. It's late doors. Ross Daugherty in the 85th minute, putting Queen's Park up 3-2. Incredible scenes here at Cowdenbeath. And another player from Cowdenbeath gone off due to injury. They're down to 9 men. But it doesn't matter, as with 10 seconds left, actually no time left on the clock, it's full time. A surprising victory as Queen's Park steal 3 points away from Cowdenbeath. Absolutely brilliant, boys. What a win. And there we are, all 3 points. Andy McKinnon with the world goal, and then the late penalty giving us the win. Very nice. In other news, Turf United get themselves plastered by East Stirlingshire 4-0, and they're going to be our next opponent. So hopefully, after the what's the word I'm looking for? The nervousness of this match. Hopefully, we can rest easy facing against Turf United. So we'll see you back for that match in just a second. Alright, and here we are for the second match, Queen's Park versus Turf United. We're playing at Hampton Park. 704 people coming out to see this match. I'm surprised we haven't gotten anything over 1,000 in regular season affairs, just because of how much I've built this team up, and we were second last season. Come on, guys. I know we got like 3,000 for a playoff final, but for regular season, we should be getting over 1,000 routinely at this point. But whatever. They're going to be coming out with a bog standard 4-4-2. Of course, we're going to be sticking with the 5-2-3. And there are changes for this match, as Ross McCrory is coming in for Harry Patterson, since he was not particularly good last match. Danny Kelly is rotating in for Michael Alexander, and most of the changes are going to be rotation because Turf United is that low of a team. Jack Downey has come on for Paul Simpson. And up top, Stephen Davidson is in for John Black. McKinnon moves over to where Ryan Waters places, and Kenny O'Brien is taken over as the third striker. So let's kick off, and anything less than a win here is going to make me extremely upset. Alright, and we're off. Of course, we'll be in the black and white hoops. And what a foul from Hovarth right there. And Turf United coming out in light blues. I guess that is their alternate. And after 16 minutes, we have 3 shots on them. 2 of them on target, but nothing coming our way. This is not good for us, as Turf United have a corner, but they're backing out. They're trying to find some space. They have good space to pass, but they're backing up, trying to recycle it. Come on, we need to keep the defensive pressure up. Oh, wow. I thought for sure that would have been a goal, very surprise goal for us right there. Or for them right there at that point. Okay, I'm going to tell them to... I'm demanding more from them. I want to demand more from them. As we come to the half-hour mark, and there's still nothing going on our end, but we could see an attack here. Davidson lays it off to Kenny O'Brien. Is that a corner? Yes, it was tackled off of him. It will be a corner. Corner at the 35th minute mark. It falls. I guess it's another corner. Rennie whips it in, finds Gibson. He does have options in the center, but can't find any of them. Very disappointing. So we've been pretty solid all game. Yeah, we haven't had a lot of possession, but we've had more shots than them. So I'm really disappointed that nothing has gone our way. So hopefully, telling them to do something better in the second half get them fired up. Not happy with your finishing defensively. Yeah, defensively, you're doing. That probably was a bad thing to say, but whatever. We'll just go out there. Defensively, they're doing fine. And actually, maybe I should take off McNulty if he's a little knackered, but we'll wait and see. Hovarth, throw in. Kelly pops it forward to McKinnon, down in the box, and that is a penalty. That is a penalty all day, every day. And who's going to step up for us today? It's going to be Kenny O'Brien. Kenny O'Brien, the center attacking mid, converted to striker. He steps up. He slots it right down the middle. Keeper didn't move. I thought for sure he would have dove for it, but it's 1-0 to Queen's Park, and we'll take it. A few minutes later, though, Turf United have themselves a good attacking opportunity. Good save by Buchan. The 16-year-old continuing to put in work, showing that we're not missing Hoban, we're not missing Sean Duncan. We have a 16-year-old ready for the future. Keeper off his line. That could be another goal. It is! The second world goal, the second all-world goal in as many matches, this time from Danny Kelly, the left wing back. And we're just starting to score goals for fun now. Okay, before that highlight resolves, we're going to bring on Harry Patterson for McNulty. And in the middle, we'll have Callum Wallace is going to make his debut. He's going to come on for Connor Rennie. And I'll keep the last sub in my pocket for now. But more than likely, Jack Downey's going to be coming off. Cross comes in, but what a save from the Turf United keeper. As that was going to go to the head of McKinnon, keeping out a third goal. Pretty weird goal kick. As Turf United now get it all the way forward. Our goalkeeper's off the line now. Off the post! Oh, that could have been an all-world goal from Turf. What is going on here? Just goals everywhere. Shots from everywhere. 20 minutes left to go. Off a corner. Downey in front of everybody. The ball is bouncing around like a pinball, and somehow the ball does not go into the back of the net. It gets cleared away. How did that not become a goal for us? Whatever. With 15 minutes left to go, we're still up 2-0 on a team that more than likely should be relegated at the end of the season. And as you saw right there, Jack Downey is coming off. Ross Daugherty coming on. Time just flying by at this point. 2 minutes and stoppage time left. Turf United get themselves a highlight, but trying for a quick attack. We are countering it. Davidson to O'Brien. Lovely passing to McKinnon. Just wide of the post. Oof. He was not very far off on that one. 2 minutes of stoppage time. Mostly come and gone. 30 seconds left in this match. Haven't had to do much all game, as we've done the business, especially in the second half, I should say. We did the business mostly in the second half. The first half was quite boring, quite uneventful, and quite honestly infuriating as we didn't get off to an early lead. But there it is, full-time. Queen's Park over Turf United 2-0, and couldn't ask for anything better. 2 wins out of 2, 6 points out of 6, and we currently see ourselves atop the table early on, tied with Morton, but just ahead of them on goal difference. Alright, so I guess now we take a look and see where we are going to come back next. And I guess if we're going to follow the same model as we did in previous seasons, it would be right after the Scottish Cup. So we'll come back for matches versus Forfar and Clyde. Now, but before we get to those, before I end it, let's take a look and see where the papers see us ending up at the very end. Wow! Queen's Park, in the reporter's eyes, think that we will finish in last place, even behind Turf United, which is all I could do is laugh at that. They obviously have not taken into account we were second place last season. Yes, we have had a high turnover rate for players, but that shouldn't take away from the fact that we have done a lot with a little. If we finish higher than fifth place, that'd be a good season for us at this point. If we get into the promotion playoff zone, that'd be even better. But fifth place, fourth, fifth place, I guess, would be the perfect spot for me to shoot for. If we can get back into the promotion playoffs, that'd be amazing. And yeah, I guess with that, we'll end the episode here. I'd like to thank you very much for watching. I'd like to thank you very much for watching. I'm watching it right now. If you like what you saw, please hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new. Comments, suggestions, questions, anything else, please leave in the comment box below. But as always, this is Gendo, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, and peace out.